Want to know why most education marketers are panicking about Meta's latest Andromeda update right now? Because they've been relying on the wrong things all along. And the noise around Andromeda is absolutely deafening. Andromeda killed my campaigns. You need to completely rebuild your strategy. Meta ads don't work for education anymore. But here's the truth. Andromeda has been fully rolled out since 2024. So if your campaigns are struggling now, it's not because of some recent algorithm changes. It's because you've been fighting against how the platform actually works. I'm Herbert from Learn Media, and after partnering with over 100 education brands, from MBA programs to study abroad providers to online course creators, I'm going to show you exactly what matters in a post-Andromeda world. And it's way simpler than you think. Let's dig in. So first, let me cut through all the BS and tell you what Andromeda actually is. Andromeda is Meta's new delivery system that changed how the platform decides which ads to show and who sees them. But here's what nobody's telling you clearly. Andromeda is flat. This means Meta looks at every single ad across your entire account, regardless of what campaign or ad set they're in. Your fancy campaign structure matters way less than it used to. What actually matters is budget liquidity. In other words, you need to let Meta decide which ads get the spend based on performance. Fighting the algorithm with manual budget controls is a losing battle, and there's no magical structure. Despite what you read online, there isn't one perfect campaign structure that works for every education brand. But here's the thing that's actually critical, and this is where most education marketers completely miss the boat. Your creative is your targeting now. Let me say that again, because this is fundamental. Your creative is your targeting. Meta can no longer rely on third-party data to find your ideal students. Instead, the algorithm shows your ads to people who engage with similar content. So if your ad creative doesn't stop the scroll and generate engagement in those first 3 seconds, the algorithm never learns who your prospective students are. No matter how sophisticated your campaign structure is, no matter what audiences you select, no matter what bidding strategy you use, if your creative sucks, you're dead in the water. I've seen education brands double their application rates simply by overhauling their creative approach. Same budget, same targeting settings, completely different results. And the education brands winning right now, they're not obsessing over whether to use CBO or ABO. They're building systems for creative diversity at scale. All right. So let me show you how we actually structure education campaigns in 2026. There are a million ways to do this, but here's what we're seeing work consistently across dozens of education ad accounts. And let me use a real example. Let's say we're advertising an online MBA program. On the campaign level, pretty straightforward. Sales or leads objective depending on your funnel. Budget set at the campaign level. Nothing fancy here. On the ad set level, this is where things get interesting for education. We segment by student persona or motivation, not demographics. For an MBA program, that might look like career switches, so people looking to change industries. Then corporate climbers, mid-level managers seeking advancement, entrepreneurs, founders wanting business fundamentals, and broad evergreen, so general messaging that works across segments. Notice how we're not doing ages 25 to 35, college-educated manager titles. We're thinking about why someone would actually enroll in this program. What transformation are they looking for? And on the ad level, this is where most education brands mess it up. They're still uploading 3 to 5 ads that are basically the same thing with a different headline. We're uploading 10 to 20 completely different ads per ad set. And I mean fundamentally different. Let's take the career switcher ad set as an example. Here you'd have a statistics ad showing salary increases post-MBA, a press release ad featuring credibility from Forbes or Business Insider, a day in the life UGC video from a recent graduate who actually switched careers, maybe a founder video explaining why the program was built differently, and a testimonial mashup combining multiple student success stories, a comparison ad your program versus traditional full-time MBAs. You could have a podcast-style faculty interview, possibly an ugly ad with bold text calling out their specific pain point, a before-after transformation video, platform-native TikTok-style content that doesn't look like an ad. Every single one of these ads serves a different purpose. Some build brand awareness and trust, some handle objections, some push for the conversion. And they resonate with students at completely different stages of their decision journey. This is what creative diversity actually looks like. It's not about making slight variations of the same concept anymore. It's about building an ecosystem of different approaches that all work together. The old playbook was find the one winning ad and scale it. That is dead now. The new playbook is build infrastructure where multiple ads perform simultaneously, hitting individual prospects at exactly the right moment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Herbert, that's like 75 to 100 unique ads I need to create. That's completely unrealistic. And you're right, if you're trying to do this the old way. And this is exactly why most education brands are struggling with meta ads right now. They don't have a system for creative production at scale. They're relying on their design team to maybe produce 5 to 10 ads per quarter. They're using the same stock footage everyone else uses. And they're creating ads that look like ads instead of platform native content. And then they're shocked when their cost per application keeps climbing. Here's how we solve this at Learn Media so you can copy our process. First, we maintain a creative library organized by format and persona. Every ad format we've tested and proven gets documented and cataloged. When it's time to create a new campaign, we're not staring at a blank screen. We're pulling from our library of formats that we know work for different education verticals and adapting them. Second, we batch our production. Rather than creating ads one at a time throughout the quarter, we produce in batches. For a typical client, one production batch might give us 10 to 15 static image ads, so statistics, press release, text ads, and headline ads, 1 to 2 UGC videos with multiple hook variations, 2 to 3 remix videos using their existing content, and that's 15 to 20 unique creatives we can deploy across multiple ad sets. Third is that we systematize the development process. Every ad starts with research. What are students actually saying in reviews and comments on your organic posts? What objections come up on your sales or admissions calls? What content is performing well organically on your social channels? What are your competitors doing so we can position you differently? Then we can develop creative angles. And these are distinct strategic approaches that each target different audience segments or emotional drivers. For that online MBA example, our angles might be career ROI, so salary increases, job placement stats, and promotional timelines. Flexibility, online formats, study while working, family life. Number 3 could be network, alumni connections, peer community, lifelong relationships. Angle 4, credibility, faculty credentials, accreditation, rankings. Angle 5, transformation, real student before and after career stories. So each angle gets multiple creative executions across the different formats. So we're not just randomly creating 100 ads, we're strategically testing different approaches to see which resonates most with each student persona. And then we come to the execution problem. If you're building these ads manually in Ads Manager, you know the pain. One ad takes about 5 minutes to build properly when you factor in uploading the creative, copy-pasting 5 variations of primary text, copy-pasting 5 variations of headlines, manually deselecting creative enhancements, adding UTM parameters, checking the same settings over and over. And that's over an hour just to build out one ad set. This is soul-crushing work, and it's exactly why most education teams don't actually implement creative diversity. Not because they don't understand it, but because the execution is too damn painful. The solution? Use bulk ad creation tools or build systems with spreadsheets and API connections. We use tools like Ad Manage AI that lets us upload 15 to 20 ads in under 2 minutes with consistent naming conventions, UTM parameters, and quality standards automatically applied. Because if creating ads is painful, you won't do it enough. And if you're testing enough creative, you're going to lose to the competitors who are. Before we wrap up, let me quickly cover the biggest mistakes I see education marketers make in a post-Andromeda world. Mistake number one is trying to hack the algorithm with fancy campaign structures. I see education marketers spending hours debating CBO versus ABO, how many ad sets to run, what audiences to exclude. Stop. Meta's algorithm is smarter than your manual optimizations. So focus your energy on creative diversity instead. Mistake number two is creating slight variations instead of true diversity. Changing your headline from transform your career to advance your career is not creative diversity. Swapping out one stock photo for another stock photo is not creative diversity. You need fundamentally different formats and strategic approaches. Mistake number three is not giving ads enough time to learn. As we know, education has longer sales cycles than e-commerce. A prospective MBA student might take 6 to 12 months to make a decision. And so don't kill ads after 3 days just because they haven't driven leads or applications yet. Look at engagement metrics and cost per landing page view first. Mistake number four is leading with institutional prestige instead of student transformation. Ranked #1 university in the region doesn't make prospective students stop scrolling. I got promoted to senior director within 3 months of graduating. Does. Your ads should focus on transformation and outcomes, not credentials and history. Mistake number five is using corporate-looking creative. The second a prospective student recognizes your content as an advertisement, they scroll past it. Your creative needs to feel native to the platform, like content they actually choose to watch. Mistake number six is not having a system for creative production. If you're creating ads one by one manually in Ads Manager, spending hours on tedious clicking and copy pasting, you'll never achieve the creative diversity needed to scale. You need to build systems and tools and batch your production. Otherwise, you're always going to be stuck in the weeds instead of focusing on strategy. Andromeda didn't break meta ads for education. It just exposed which ones had their foundation built on sand. The education providers that were relying on sophisticated targeting tricks, they're struggling now. The ones that were running the same 5 ads for 6 months straight, they're watching costs rise every week. But the education providers who understand that creative is targeting, they're scaling profitably. The ones who have systems for creative production, they're outperforming the competitors by 2 to 3x. The ones testing 15 to 20 unique ads across different platforms and personas, they're winning enrollments while everyone else is complaining about the algorithm. And this isn't about having a massive budget or hiring a huge team. We've helped education brands with $10,000 in monthly ad budget implement this approach successfully. It's about understanding what actually matters and building systems that let you execute at scale. So if you're an education marketer struggling with meta ads right now, here's your path forward. Stop obsessing over campaign structures and bidding strategies. Start focus on creative diversity, different formats, different angles, different personas. Build systems for production so you're not manually creating every single ad. Test different approaches and give them time to learn. Let the data tell you what resonates instead of guessing. Do those things consistently, and you'll find that scaling education campaigns post-Andromeda isn't just possible, it's actually easier than ever before. Because now you're working with the algorithm instead of fighting against it. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I create practical content for education marketers every week. No theory, no fluff, just strategies we're actually using with real education clients. Now, go build some scroll-stopping education ads, and I'll see you in the next one.